Welcome back to the Community Made podcast. I am so excited to have you here. It has been a while since I have done a podcast. I really did have to take a break. And when I mean I had to take a break, I actually really needed to focus on finishing my master's degree. And I still just did not have the capacity to hold space for doing my work and serving, finishing the master's degree, and still dealing with the forever long court battle that I had to deal with Aubrey's dad. So I took a break, knew that I needed some healing, knew that I needed some recovery, and just kind of had to let some things go, revamp some things, really touch into this idea of what's going to bring me joy, what's going to bring me pleasure, what do I really want to do, not what should I do. So there have definitely been some changes. I'm going to actually now not only put the podcast on Spotify where you can listen to it audibly, but I'm also going to put it on YouTube as well so that you can see the interactions and see how that goes, at least in the personal part of this. And then we'll see what happens when we start doing interviews. Another thing that has changed is that I am going back to my passion and my calling and what I started with so many years ago with helping all women heal sexual abuse. So if this is not necessarily you or that's not really what you resonate with, that's completely okay. I understand that. However, you might know someone that might have been impacted by sexual abuse. And I just hope that you invite them to listen to the podcast, check out the YouTube channel, show up to the complimentary workshops that I have. So that's what's been going on. And honestly, I had to take the break. Like, I just had to take a break. And as a survivor of sexual abuse, we are prone to self sabotage. And I have been known to do it over and over again. And I didn't feel like when I decided to take a break from everything that it wasn't necessarily sabotage this time. It was something that I really had to do to help myself heal, to help myself recover from what had taken place over the last year of my life, as well as the last year of Aubrey's life as well. And as we are closing up on this summer, Aubrey's going back to school in a few weeks. It's almost her birthday. You know, things are really starting to feel like, okay, I can do this again. I can hold space for this again. I can be of service. And I've noticed that as I've allowed myself to do this, there's been so many opportunities that have arisen. I'm doing more things that I want to do for my own personal reasons because it feels good. And honestly, it's been so helpful. I've completely ditched personal development books. Now, don't get me wrong, they're still on my book list, but it's been so much fun to be able to dive into non-personal development books again and read until the night and just bring that joy in and reconnect with my inner child that used to read until all hours of the night. So just things like that have been going on. I went to go visit my dad in Idaho, and I love going to visit my dad in Idaho because it feels so safe there. Like I can't be touched by anybody or anything, and we're just so disconnected from what's happening here with Aubrey's dad and things that are happening, and we get to just kind of escape it all for a while. And it really helps me realize that I am truly in control and I can allow certain things to affect me or I cannot. But the truth is that I really, really had to let go of the stress that was happening in my life. I really had to recover from it. And as I'm getting back in the saddle, if you will, I'm starting to realize how much more peace there is in showing up for this rather than forcing myself to do it, or how good it feels to do this again. Didn't necessarily have to do this. I could have let it go, but I was committed to the 100 episodes, and I don't even know how far we had gotten at that point. And there's already been so many changes, but this is just what's been happening in my life. And I'm sharing this with you kind of so you know what's been going on. But I'm sharing this with you because I want you to know that number one, that it's okay to take a break. It's okay to pivot, change, and shift. But it's also okay for you to do what's best for you, no matter what that looks like. And I know that that's really hard because sometimes we want to please other people, we want to do the things that we should be doing. But when you are not in a place to truly hold space, especially for the work that I do, it hurts you more than it hurts anybody else in the long run. And I know that that's truly not what you want. And I know that sometimes we get so caught up in doing what we're supposed to be doing because it's a fawn response and that comes from trauma, and it's just easier to kind of go with it. The thing is that doing things for yourself and bringing joy in and bringing peace in to your life is just as healing as going to dig at your trauma. So, with that being said, expect that there's going to be changes on the topics that we're talking about. We're going to be talking about how to heal your sexual abuse, how to recover, how to reset and rewire your nervous system. And there's going to be people coming in to talk about maybe how to deal with the legalities aspect of this, and other women that have been through this who are open to sharing their story. I know that there's going to be a lot in the making, and I'm just so excited to bring this back in and deliver this to you and really just kind of start anew. And so I will see you in the next episode. Depending on when you see this or when you hear this, there may or may not be an upcoming workshop, but know that I'm having an upcoming workshop on if I could speak, on August 13th, 2025, and we're going to have another workshop for September. Let me look. I think it's 24th. Let me see. Give me just a second. I know I should know this. Okay. Yes, we're going to do it on the 24th, on September 24th, 2025. So if you really want to get in on those workshops that are designed specifically for survivors, head over to my Instagram at Transform with Angela to be in the know, and we can be connected and chat and whatever you would like to do so that you can get the details for those workshops. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.